Hey guys, Tech Secretary. Today I'm doing a service on a 1999 Yamaha R1. I'm going to be going over spark plugs in this video, but I don't know about you guys, but these old school R1s and these 1000cc bikes from back then, there's something different about them. They got raw power. You know, those newer 1000s like the CBRs and stuff, they make more power and they're super smooth. They're so refined that you don't get that feeling of massive power like these old ones do. I really like these bikes. I'm looking forward to getting it running perfect, and I'm going to get started on this one. We're going to start out with some spark plugs. 5mm. $10mm off the front. So for plugs, we can just prop this up here. I'm going to get a tie down and hook it up so that it just hangs. Alright, so with the tank propped up, I've got another Allen key there. And we got 4 Phillips heads down at the bottom here, across, and then I got these 2 vent lines I'm going to take off, and we're going to pull the air filter off. I'm going to blow this all off up top, and we're going to check the air filter while we're in there, and the plugs we got to get 2 down inside of here. Alright, so 5mm out of there. 4 Phillips heads coming in from the side this way, from me. So I got one here, and there, and here, and the closest one to you over there. Got 2 vent lines here. 1, 2. While I have it in here solid, I'm going to take the airbox cover off so we can look at the air filter. And that filter looks good, like it's been replaced. I just cleaned. Somebody's been in here and replaced that filter, so. Pull the whole box off. Alright, now we got this plastic piece in here that's got pull tabs on the front. Just going to pull them off. They're buttons. 1, 2. And we're just going to pull this whole cover up here. And you got the coils underneath it there. Alright, we get the coils off. You're going to grab the wires. And the wires are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4 from the left to the right. So make sure you grab the actual plug wire when you pull that off. Okay? And you're going to unplug the coil wires right there. And all of our coils are out of the way. So now that's what we're looking at. We have 2 buttons right here. We can push those buttons in. That's center. You push that pin in, and then you pull the buttons out. There's one there, one there. And we can move this out of the way just so we can get down to the plugs a little better, because I want to blow them all out and everything, make sure they're nice and clean. All right, so whenever you work around the carburetors and they're open, you want to just make sure you cover them up with something. So I'm just going to cover them with this microfiber right here, just to kind of keep them clean so nothing gets in there. This is what we have here. We're going to blow these all out with some compressed air. Make sure there's no dirt inside there. That's when I take the plugs out, they don't fall down in there. And then we're going to start taking them out. Alright, so this is the setup I'm using just to make it easier to get down in there. Alright, it's the 5/8 socket, spark plug socket. These plugs are really loose. Loose. They're not tight enough in there. So guys, if you're doing plugs and they're like buried down in a cylinder like this and it's hard to get a good grip at them, I like using a... Alright, so when they're down in gullies like this and they're hard to get to, when you take them all the way loose, a lot of times the spark plug socket's not going to pull them up. I like using a rubber hose. This is a fuel injector hose. It's got that blue housing. It fits over the top of the spark plug easy. I just stick it down in the hole there, push it down a little bit so it's got it, and then you can just spin it. And then when it's loose, it comes right up out of there like that. So putting the new plugs in, putting CR9Es in there. Got brand new NGKs right here. What I like to do is what you should do as well so they don't get seized. I put a tiny bit of high heat anti-seize on there. Just a tiny bit, guys, okay? Don't goob it on there. And then I put a little bit of dielectric grease on the tip of the, where it goes onto the boot for the socket, for the coil. So what I'll do here is the way that I'll do it is I got a little bit of dielectric grease on there, just keep that from corroding it all. And then with this right here, I'm going to get this ready, stick it on the top of the plug, pull this up, and I'm just putting a tiny bit on there, just a little dab. Alright, and it'll coat everything. That's all I'm putting on there. And as you're spinning the plug on, it'll spin on just fine. I'm going to just drop it down in there. And the good thing with the hose is that when you start turning it, if you're cross-threading or something, you won't be able to cross-thread it with the hose. The hose will just spin on it. All right, and the plug torque is 13 Newton meters or 9.4 foot-pounds. Don't over-tighten them. All right, so we're just going to repeat the process here for the rest of the plugs. All right, so everything's in, torque back on, so it's time for reassembly. All right, so reassembly is just the opposite. We're going to start out with the rubber heat shield here. We got the two buttons to push in. Now to reset these buttons, all right, these are the ones that you push the center in. You just take them, push it all the way back till it's up like that. Push this side into the hole, and then just push the button back and you're done. All right, now the coils. Get number 4 in. Number 3. 2 and then 1. Make sure you push them in so you can feel them engage the spark plug. Kind of a little ratchet sound. Plug in. All right, now we got our two buttons in the front, so we're going to get the everything sitting in position here. The coils. Get our two push plugs that we pulled out earlier. So those are in. Go back to our air box. Now usually these slide right on, so if you have any trouble, just take a second and to get them all on. But usually they'll slide right in. If you need to, you can always take just a little bit of this the dielectric grease I was using for the plugs, and just put a really light smear on there just to kind of help them glide in, because it's hard to get underneath there and mess with them. You need them to kind of just slide right in, so I'm just putting a thin little layer around the leading edge to make sure they get on. It looks like someone had trouble with this one, so this will help. And just carefully slide them back on. Just go ahead and tighten them all up. Phillips head screwdriver again. I'm holding the clamp here with one finger as I'm tightening it so it doesn't push it around, so you don't get it doesn't slide it around and you can't get to it. Vent lines are on. Alright, just give a good look. Make sure everything is not out of place where it should be. Check all your lines, make sure nothing's damaged. I'm going to let the tank back down. 5mm on the pivot on the back. Put the seat back on. Alright. Alright guys, so that's all there is to it to changing out the spark plugs in this R1. It's pretty simple. Take a couple of things off, get right down to it, get it done. Don't over tighten them. Remember to put a little bit of anti-seize on there and a little bit of the dielectric grease on the tip, and you're good to go. This bike, I'm going to warm it up now and do an oil change. Hopefully you like this video, guys. It helps you out. Get those spark plugs changed and your air filter while we were in there. Keep these bikes maintained and they'll do good for you. All right, until next time, guys, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. It's Typical Cycle Repair.